Oh, and also he's the head coach for the Indiana Pacers, Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle, at 65 years old, Rick Carlisle, the head coach of the Pacers, is not getting the love he deserves. And I'm here to tell y'all right now today, he is the one that has earned and gained the most in these NBA playoffs so far. Kat, this is not a guy who, before the playoffs or even entering the season, people look at the Pacers or a Carlisle coach team and say the kind of things that they say about like Eric Spoelstra-led teams where it's like, yeah, they might not have this, then, the third, but they got that guy on the bench.
Of course, he will get the most out of that roster, and he will make his stars even better.
Carlisle don't get enough of that. And the dude, he's a true tactician. You look at this Pacers roster, and there's a reason why they were underdogs left and right in each series that they entered. Even when the Bucks were shorthanded, people were like, I think Milwaukee's going to get them. I think Milwaukee got that. Took care of business. The Cleveland Cavaliers, of course you're going to be the dogs when you're playing a team like that with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, my boy, the wing. I always forget his name.
Naismith?
No, the Cavs wing. DeAndre Hunter. I don't know why I always do that to him. Forgettable name. DeAndre Hunter. Shout out the Virginia Cavaliers. But when you look at the road that they have taken, the Pacers, as dogs left and right, led by Tyrese Halliburton, who is the most quote-unquote overrated player in the NBA, as voted on by his peers, Pascal Siakam. He's somebody that nobody is necessarily super fearful of coming into a playoff series against, though he is an NBA champion with those 2019 Raptors. And then you got like Neesmith. You got Nembhard. You got Benedict Mathurin, who still is kind of coming into his own game. Miles Turner been on the trading block since he was drafted. I feel like they drafted Miles Turner and instantly put him on the trade block in every single trade deadline. We're talking about which team might add Miles Turner.
He's been signing month-to-month leases.
Yeah.
He's not guaranteed that he's going to be here.
Miles Turner, like, do y'all not love me? All he wants to do is build Lego houses and play ball, and all the Pacers want to do is float him around in trade rumors. And he's still sticking around being a mainstay for them. This is the team that Rick Carlisle is now one win away from taking to the NBA Finals. Last night, he hit a benchmark. 82 career playoff wins. Only 2 active coaches have more. Eric Spoelstra, Doc Rivers. Rick Carlisle's run with the teams that he has coached, though, much more impressive than both of them. He ain't never had a big 3. Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra, they got blessed. You know, as great as Spo is with the Miami Heat, he was blessed to not only be attached to a top 3 National Basketball Association organization with the Heat, he also got the big 3. He also was gifted LeBron James and Chris Bosh, and we can't discount that.
Yeah, when you're talking legacy, like Spo would have less championships if he did not have LeBron James, even without the big 3, the moniker that goes with him. If LeBron does not go to Miami, Spo has less hardware.
He would. And as a Heat fan, I can attest to that, and I can admit that. If you're foolish enough to have so much pride because you hate the way LeBron exited as a Heat fan, to where you're still discrediting him for his part in those rings, yes, sure, we taught him how to be a champion, but damn it, we're not champions without him in those 2 years. Shout out 06. We got it before him. But I will say this. Carlisle, what he has been working with in his 23 years of coaching in the NBA, he only has 1 Coach of the Year award. He has the 2011 NBA Finals, which I do think is the most impressive championship run I have seen in my modern day watching of the NBA. The greatest run to an NBA title was the 2011 Dallas Mavericks, coached by none other than Rick Carlisle. Not only did he have to defeat the Big 3 Heat, who we pre-crowned before the season, and definitely, I remember, like, 2011, I'm like, oh, we got the Mavs? We're good.
Yeah, the Heat ruined the sport. It was a foregone conclusion, and we were counting championships like LeBron was when they got introduced at what we now know as the Kaseya Center.
Yeah, the Kaseya Center. But back then, Rick Carlisle was crazy enough to actually put J.J. Barea on LeBron James, and damn it, it worked.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Those screens.
I mean, what the hell? Rick Carlisle and those Mavericks, sure, they beat the Big 3 Heat, and a lot of that had to do with coaching. Carlisle outcoached Spoelstra, and LeBron obviously was a shell of himself. It was the single worst performance of his career, and the biggest blemish, the only blemish I think about. But people also forget who the Mavericks beat en route to the Big 3 Heat. They got through the Oklahoma City Thunder with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, the team that the very next year was in the NBA Finals and fell to the Heat. That was a loaded team with better players than what the Mavericks had that year. They got through Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round, which, I mean, whenever you're able to knock off a top 5, top 7 apex legend of the sport, you got to coach your way through that. You didn't have the best player. Dirk was great. Wasn't better than Kobe Bryant. And before that, they got through the Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge Blazers, who, again, it was 2011. So try and, roll back the tape and think about what we thought of those guys in that moment versus what we do now. LaMarcus Aldridge was right there. Almost square for square when you talk about what Dirk Nowitzki was as a power forward. He was in that conversation. Dirk, Duncan, Aldridge. Who else was in that era in the early 2010s of power forwards? It was a strong league of power forwards at that time. Carlos Boozer. Sounds like a joke today, but
Taj Gibson, was he still or center?
He wasn't that level though. But yeah, he was around because that was the Bulls when he was with the Bulls and Noah.
Little early for Boogie Cousins.
A little early for Boogie. Plus, he was more of a center.
Yeah.
But a little early for AD. AD came into the league a year or two later. But again, that was the level of player that they got through, and it wasn't because of just some transcendent run by Dirk. Sure, he was knocking down free throws at a historic rate. He was a great offensive power. He was super efficient, had one of the best runs of his career. A lot of that was guided by that guy, Rick Carlisle. When I think about who has gained the most through this postseason, it is Rick Carlisle. It's not Tyrese Halliburton. It's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It damn sure ain't Anthony Edwards, though he has a chance to start that wave tonight in Oklahoma City. Rick Carlisle has been the biggest benefactor of these playoffs, and he's got 5 more to really have the 2 most impressive championships in my lifetime in the NBA. If this Pacers team wins the title this year, which I can't even imagine, how the hell did that even exit my mouth today?
Well, honestly,
how?
You're saying if they win the championship, which is a big if, going against a historically good Thunder squad, a historically strong favorite Thunder squad, similar odds, I'm sure, that the Mavericks, led by Carlisle, faced when they took on the Big 3 Heat in 2011.
Yeah.
But even if they get gentlemen swept in the NBA Finals, Rick Carlisle is in very exclusive company, taking 2 different teams to the NBA Finals in the fashion that he did. I thought that I might have been mistaken in that winning the championship with 2 different teams as a head coach was the cream of the crop. But even getting there, very short list.
You want to hear the futures here on Hard Rock Bet, the 4 teams and their odds to win the title today. Who do you think has the longest odds?
Longest odds to win the NBA Finals right now? It's got to be the Timberwolves, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Here, let me get you some. Where's our trivia music?
We got trivia music?
Give me some. Yeah, give me some. There we go. Yeah. All right. The odds on Hard Rock Bet to win the title this year, according to Hard Rock Bet, longest odds, you say Timberwolves. Plus 4,000.
Now, yesterday I did look at these odds. That was before we saw the Knicks go down 3-1.
Okay.
And you were banging the drum that the Thunder, or should we, the Timberwolves still have the second best chance to win the NBA Finals, even though they already trail 3-1.
Yep. Still believe that, too.
So I knew that had to be in the ballpark, but now you have another team down 3-1.
So who's the third shortest?
Got to be the New York Knicks.
Third longest, Knicks plus 2,500. I honestly think they're already cooked. They might as well be eliminated. When the Pacers bounced them at Madison Square Garden, I kind of want to be there. I kind of want to be there. That is going to be a great sight to watch the Knicks fans just, I don't know how they're going to act. I wouldn't want to be there. I would have to exit early. I wouldn't want to be there in the streets because I don't know how they're, it might get a little rowdy. But I would love to see the tears.
You see the Side Talk videos celebrating right outside MSG.
Yeah.
When the Knicks beat the Hawks. I think it was game 1 in that series. That very famous bing bong. Forget what year it was. It might have been 2022 or 2021. Don't talk about the losses those videos they make then.
No.
It's hostile, I guess.
We need to see them. But in order for that to happen, the Pacers got to win Game 5. They have the second shortest odds at plus 475. Do you want to guess the odds for the Thunder to win the title? They're up 3-1 against the T-Wolves. They're the overwhelming favorites. 68 wins in the regular season. Largest point differential in the history of the NBA in the regular season.
I would say the Pacers are at minus. The Thunder would be at minus 210.
Minus 400.
Oh, no.
People are literally treating this as if it's a foregone conclusion. The Thunder have already been crowned NBA champions.